Good morning and welcome to week 6. Can you believe it? We're in the 6th week of the semester already. Last week we made iMovie trailers. Hopefully you've got those finished, posted to your Weebly, and posted to the Padlet, along with the reflection about them. Don't forget, whenever you post something on your website, on your Weebly, you always need to have links to everything you're discussing. Don't forget to include images. And last week, you also included a movie using the YouTube tool inside Weebly. This week, we're going to watch some of those movies in class. So if you're an online student, sadly, you'll miss that. But I would encourage you to go to the Padlet site and look at some of your classmates' projects. They're really quite good, and I think you'll be inspired. This week, we're going to explore a series of podcasts called Tech Edge. It's out of University of Nebraska. I know, University of Nebraska, but they're really good. They do one a week. They've been doing them for several years now. In fact, as of last week, there were 246 to choose from. They originally called it iPads in the classroom, and about a year ago they changed it to mobile learning in the classroom and include lots of devices. What you're going to do is find an episode of 2, 3, 4, however many episodes you need to watch. Find 3 apps that resonate with you, 3 apps you think you could use in your classroom. Install those apps on your iPad. They might be free, they might be paid. More often than not, they talk about free apps, but they do talk about some paid ones as well. So bite the bullet, buy the app, learn how to use it, figure it out. That's what you're going to have to do when you're a teacher. And then figure out how you're going to use that app in your classroom. Or some of the apps are specific for teachers to make their jobs more productive. Maybe you're going to choose to write about one of those. There is a keynote presentation that's a PDF or also a live link to where you can view it on the web that explains every detail. But in a nutshell, you're going to watch the podcast, find the 3 apps that resonate with you, write a little review about generally the Tech Edge podcast, post the actual podcast that you watched. In other words, grab the YouTube link, use the YouTube Weebly tool, and actually put that podcast or multiple podcasts on your Weebly subpage. And then each app that you write about, there's a list in that PowerPoint or that keynote presentation that tells you what to include in your review. It's kind of a lengthy list. You might not have all of those things, but you should have a good portion of them. Don't forget to include the icon for the app, a link to where you get the app, a description of it, and how you see yourself using this app in your classroom. What's this app for? What's it do? Why is it good? Now, if you watch a Tech Edge and it doesn't excite you and you can't find an app in it, find another episode. There's 246 plus episodes. Usually each episode is on a specific topic, like presentation apps part 1. And then there's another one that's presentation apps part 2. There's literacy apps, there's reading apps, there's math apps, social studies apps, etc. Productivity apps for teachers. Find ones that interest you. Find 3 apps that you're going to review, as well as post the podcast on your site. Make sure you read through that PDF carefully. And last but not least, starting this week, tweeting your posts from your Weebly count. So make sure you're tweeted with the hashtag from DED318 and the University of Nebraska Tech Edge hashtag. It's actually on the webpage and also a part of the PDF. So that's all we're doing for this week. 1 big post, but 2 or 3, 4, 5 sentences isn't going to cut it. You need to dig deep and you need to think thoughtfully about how these apps could be used in your classroom. So you really need to think. A few sentences is not going to cut it. So that's a wrap up of week 6. Just a reminder, don't forget to keep adding to your Pinterest. By now you ought to have about 90 educational resources. We're approaching the halfway point. You got to have 250 by the end of the semester. Remember, these resources are to benefit you, not to benefit me. Okay, if you have questions, I'm here all day today, Monday, except for when I'm in class, and you're always welcome to come to class if you're in the online section. I will also be in my office all morning till about 1:15. I have a 1:30 meeting. So if you need help with something or have a question, please just drop by. Bluemont 352. I'd love to see you, and I'd love to meet you if I haven't met you yet, except online. We will see you next week.